interval is the distance between two notes. The intervals are the basis for the melody, and not only. Harmony is also created from intervals. I remember when I was a boy, I had first heard of the Chariots of Fire by Vangelis. This part starts with a horn playing that phrase. These two notes are an interval of fifth. Since then, whenever I've been listening to the interval, I've been saying, this sounds like in the Chariots, so it's a fifth. Let's look at the intervals. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. The space is determined by the number that is the distance between the two notes and the word that gives the exact number in tone and semitones. The words are for second, third, sixth, and seventh intervals, diminished, minor, major, and augmented. For fourth and fifth intervals, diminished, perfect, and augmented. Each one of these terms is a semitone away from the next one. So, a diminished interval is a semitone smaller than the minor, 2 semitones from the major, and 3 from the augmented interval. Why do they need these terms? CE is interval of third, but it's a different distance from C sharp E or from the C sharp E flat. So the number isn't enough to determine the interval. Now it will be very useful if we have good knowledge of the previous chapters. The distances created from the first note of every major scale to the next ones, due to the construction of the scale, are major or perfect for fourth and fifth intervals. Let's take the easy scales we always choose. C major scale. CD is an interval of second major. CE, third major. CF, fourth perfect. CG, fifth perfect. CA, sixth major. And CB, seventh major. How do we know that? This is the construction of the major scale. The minor scales, for example, have different intervals. But, like I said, the major scales can be used as a way to learn the intervals. Let's look at a few examples. CA is sixth major. It's the first and sixth notes of the scale. CA flat is sixth minor, a semitone smaller than the previous one. Do sharp A flat interval is sixth diminished, while the C A sharp is sixth augmented. All of this can be found by a simple comparison of the requested interval with an interval that we already know. Let's look at another interval, and here we'll need to think more. A D sharp. If A is the tonic, do you remember what we do in order to find A major key signature? First, we have to find the leading tone, that is a semitone before the tonic. It is G sharp, so A major signature is F, C, and G sharps. So, A D is a perfect fourth, and the interval we are looking for is a semitone bigger. So, A D sharp is an augmented fourth. You see, when we start, we need to do a whole process to find the result. The truth is, by practicing, all this procedure will become much faster. Let's look at another space. F, E flat. Let's take F note as tonic. Do you remember that we had said that it was the only scale with a natural note name and has one flat key signature, B flat. So, what do we know about the F major scale? That F E interval, first and seventh of the scale, is a seventh major. So, the interval we are looking for is a seventh minor interval. Let's assume we have F sharp E flat interval. We can still use the F major scale. F E is, as we know, seventh major, F E flat is seventh minor, and F sharp E flat is a seventh diminished interval. Find out these intervals. When you see the intervals, stop the video. Find the intervals and write them down. When finished, start the video again to see the answers. Let's see the answers. I'll give you a few different ways to find the intervals. EA, it's a fourth, E, F, G, A. Now, we must find what kind of fourth it is. E and A are the first and fourth notes of E major scale. As we have said, major scales consist of major and perfect intervals, fourth and fifth. So, this is a fourth perfect. G, D sharp. Same way. G and D are the first and fifth notes of G major scale. So, GD is a perfect fifth, and GD sharp we are looking for is an augmented fifth. D, B flat. DB are the first and sixth notes of D major scale, so it's a sixth major interval. D, B flat is a minor sixth interval. F sharp, A flat. I will simplify the interval and find FA. This is a third major, first and third notes of F major scale. So, FA flat is a third minor, and F sharp A flat is a third diminished interval. C sharp B. CB is a major 7, first and seventh notes of C major scale. So, C sharp B is a minor 7. D flat, B flat. This is a major sixth interval. DB, first and sixth notes of D major scale. What's the key signature of B minor scale? Write down B minor harmonic scale. Find out the intervals between the notes. When finished writing, start the video and see the answers. We know that we always find a key signature for a major scale, so we must find B minor relative scale. We go up 3 semitones and 3 notes. B, C, D major is our relative major scale. Which is the leading tone? We go down a semitone. D, C sharp is the leading tone, and the key signature is F, C sharps. So, B minor is the following scale. Remember, this scale is the natural scale that does not have a leading tone. A is one tone away from B. In order to make B minor harmonic scale, we have to raise the 7th note in order to have the leading tone right. So, A becomes A sharp. Let's now see the intervals. B, C sharp, tone. C sharp, D, semitone. D, E, tone. E, F sharp, tone. F sharp, G, semitone. G, A sharp, 3 semitones. And A sharp, B, semitone. Have in mind that all minor harmonic scales have the same intervals: tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, three semitones, semitone. See this small melody. Find out the intervals that make it. Do you recognize the song? As you see, the first five notes are minor seconds. EB is a perfect fourth. The easiest way is to observe the CF interval, that is just a semitone up, and it's the first and fourth notes of C major scale. BD is a third minor. DC is of course a second major, and CA is a minor third, and the piece is Feuerise by Beethoven. Let's try now to have a visual understanding of the intervals. Let's see the C major scale once more. We always begin from the C note. C, D, second major. C, E, third major. C, F, fourth perfect. C, G, fifth perfect. C, A, sixth major. C, B, seventh major. Have in mind that if we start from E note, for instance, we will have the same results if we cross E major scale notes, and this applies for all the major scales. See now. E flat, A flat. This is the first and fourth notes of E flat major. Remember, B flat, E flat, and A flat key signature. So this is a fourth perfect. Let's take E, A flat. I'll use the previous interval. So the one we are looking for is a semitone smaller. So this is a fourth diminished. Let's take F sharp, D. This is a bit more complicated. So the best way is to simplify it. I'll find F, D, which is much easier. F and D are the first and sixth notes of F major scale. Remember, F major has one flat key signature, B flat. So F, D is a sixth major. So F sharp, D is a semitone smaller, so it is a sixth minor. Let's take another interval. D flat, A sharp. This is also a complicated interval, so I will use the simple D, A first. These are the first and fifth notes of D major scale. F sharp, C sharp, key signature. So, D, A is a fifth perfect. D flat, A is a fifth augmented. Oops, now what? D flat, A sharp is even bigger, so this is a fifth double augmented interval.